Before we begin today's episode, we want to acknowledge that the stories shared in this podcast may touch on mental health challenges, shared by real people with real experiences. If you or someone you know needs support, help is available. In Australia, you can contact Lifeline at 131114 or Beyond Blue at 13002 246 36 for confidential support. If you are in immediate danger or need urgent help, please pause this episode and call 000 now. If you're listening from outside Australia, we encourage you to reach out to local mental health services for support. Remember, you are not alone. Help is always within reach. Now, let's get into today's conversation.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Banter. Down in Melbourne, filming from the Trapani Studios. Again, thanks for having us. Great job, the set.
My pleasure.
It's been great so far. Really good podcast. Really looking forward to how this all is cut and Topher does his thing and how it's all the final product. I'm really looking forward to it.
You won't need filters on this.
He's fixed it. He's fixed that here. Today we're filming a few here and it's an action-packed day and wouldn't have it any other way. Today we're joined by Boppa. Had the pleasure of meeting Boppa before. Bobba. Sorry, mate.
That's his brother.
Bobba. Had the pleasure of meeting Bobba at the Beyond the Banter charity night, comedy night we had. I've also seen him feature, and I say feature, in Nick's lives when he's around the backyard doing a few things.
You were gardening in the back.
I was working.
Yeah.
You were working for me there?
Yeah. A bit of a celebrity on TikTok. Steals the show, really, from Nick's lives.
They call them extras.
Look, you guys have known each other for a very long time. I've only had the privilege of meeting you twice in person, but I do know that there is a story there, and you've been through a lot, and I've heard little snippets. So today I'm going to be really paying attention to what you're saying, and be yourself, be nice and calm, relaxed, and just take it as it comes. We'll help you, we'll guide you through it, and look, I'm really looking forward to this. We do have Toasty running around here again in today's episode, so welcome in, Toasty.
Toasty's the dog, by the way.
Sorry, I just looked down there and said Toasty.
Someone's bringing in cheese, Toasty. Toasty wants to get involved for a minute.
Here we go. Hey, Toasty. Hey. So today we're going to have a conversation with Bobba, and we'll unpack that as we sort of go through it. And we're changing the podcast in a way. We're trying to obviously focus on underlying messaging, but also have a bit of fun and a bit of laughter with it as well. So, there's no better man to have alongside me doing that and promoting that for the podcast. So I'll throw over to you, Nick, I guess, if there's anything you want to say before we start.
I'll say Toasty's in the way of my T-shirt, as you can see. My good friend Jess and Gary made this T-shirt for me, and he's getting in the way, so I'll just set him over there so he doesn't cover my beautiful face on my T-shirt.
Yeah.
But, look, I've known Bobba since high school, since year 7, so for a very long time. We've been friends for the whole time. We've had ups and downs. We've had highs and lows. We've been there together through really hard times.
Yes.
We've played music together. We've connected through music. We've disconnected through music. And a number of different things. I'm still proud to sit here next to you and have you as a close mate.
That's a lot.
And to me, when I was putting together the list of who I wanted to get, in this first run of podcasts, you were one of them because as people have heard my story, I suffer anxiety. And to me, before I knew what anxiety was, as far back as I can remember, you've had your battles. And I thought it'd be a great opportunity because I know you love this stuff. We've spoken about this many times. And we actually, Bobba reached out to me before we spoke, Chris, and he was like, let's do a podcast together. Let's talk about men's mental health. So this is something that you've wanted to do before we reached out.
Yeah, awesome.
What we're doing is we're just seeing what your platform is, and we're going to steal your idea and we're going to make it better.
That's okay. That's fine. I'll come with you.
But no, look, so, without joking around too much, and this is like, we do joke around a little bit, so it's okay to joke around, be a little bit lighthearted, but we're going to touch on some serious topics. So I have mentioned that you've had some battles, but I'd like to leave it up to you to sort of maybe let us know when you started to notice things and the battles you were facing, because as a close mate back then, we don't understand a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Your mates don't understand. And that's also one thing that you sort of go, why don't you get me? Why don't you understand who I am? And I know through music and through comedy we do that, is we want people to understand what we're talking about. So, could you let us know a little bit about your story and who you are?
Well, I think when it all kicked in, what I call anxiety, it was in a time in the late 90s when anxiety and depression, that wasn't a thing that happened. It wasn't a big deal. Toughen up, sunshine, that's pretty much what you got from people. But it did take a long time for me to realise it wasn't, between panic attacks and social anxiety, trying to work out where you fit in, playing footy with the boys. Well, I wasn't the most muscular guy, as you can see. And then, that they went off and they did their thing, and I just couldn't click to that, because every time I was around them, I was so nervous and I was freaking out every time. And I'm like, well, your heart starts pumping, but you check your pulse and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So I guess, late 90s was a time where I realised something was wrong. And it wasn't until mid to late 2000s that, sorry if I'm not close.
No, you're right.
No, you're right.
Mid to late 2000s that mental health became a thing, and depression was a big thing, and and then eventually anxiety was less of a stigma, but still touchy to talk about. Which was very hard with my mates. You've got Nick, and you had the boys back then who were all wild personalities. They were all out there. They were all crazy, and
not too crazy.
Well,
we were crazy.
But, we had fun. But trying to find where I slot in with that, and having the thing in the back of my head going, you don't fit in here. You've got to run, get out of here, and then disappearing. I've just disappeared from places and no one to know where I've gone. And I still do that to this day.
The phantom.
I'll just up and back.
Just leave.
So, it's, it's been a long road to try and figure out where my head is, and trying to figure out how to deal with the oncoming anxieties. And you can feel them coming now. And I've got to a point where I've almost trained myself where you can sit there and go, okay, this is coming. Time to ride the wave, as you say, and just get on with it. So, but it's
God, I can't imagine. Like, even now, talking about mental health, there is still, unfortunately, that stigma around it all. I can't imagine rewinding, let's say, 15 years, 20 years. What that would have been like. You would have been sort of looked at as, a weirdo or strange or that sort of stuff. And there was really, I know in school, no one ever talked about mental health when I was at school. I left in 97, so I'm a bit older, sorry. But
a lot older.
It was 5 years, mate. 5 years in June, so 4. Mate, this is what you'll get in 4 years' time, mate, when you catch up. Don't worry.
That will be forever.
Yes. Trust me, it's very fast. But, I couldn't imagine what it would have been like back then. I know schools and that age group of particular concern in males is that sort of year 9, 10, 11, 12 in high school. I know that's one of the key sort of areas they're focusing on now. And I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this already, but when you were going through that when you were younger, was there anyone there to guide you or say, hey, it is okay?
No.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't.
Family, friend.
Even my family kind of didn't really understand it.
Yep.
Even knowing they suffered from it themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
My parents are quite anxious people.
Yep.
But they didn't understand. Just as I said back then, it was just not a thing.
Yeah.
And it was just stand up, straighten your back out, and be proud of who you are, and that's the message I got from my parents. But at the same time, when you're going through that crippling era, it was very hard to do, and you almost, we're talking 90s, early 2000s. You became a target.
Yeah.
Bullying wasn't a big deal back then. You'd find yourself in situations where everyone's hacking on you, and all you wanted to do was run.
Yeah.
Which made you more of a target because you ran away from their crap.
Yeah. And I think the thing is as well is when when you're going through that, but the people that are bullying you are also going through their own insecurities.
Yeah.
Right, but they don't realise that you've actually got more going on than just, I'm not saying they didn't have stuff going on or whatever, but you're already developing these anxiety symptoms and this stress, and you're trying to figure out what's going on there, but you're also trying to develop into a man as well.
Exactly.
At that point, of your life where it's quite difficult for a man trying to find himself or a boy trying to become a man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And what you said there, it's stress.
Yeah.
That's what anxiety was known as back then.
Stress.
Oh, you just stressed out.
Yeah.
Just sit down for a bit, drink some water, you're just stressed. And that's I think it's almost a misdiagnosis of anxiety is when you turn around and say, look, you're just stressed. And then in your head, you're like, no, I'm dying. I think that's a common misconception between stress and anxiety. They're two different things completely. But yeah, it was difficult. It was a difficult time. But you have your mates that stick with you, like Nick, like the boys did. As much as they gave me hell for it, they still.
Yeah.
If I
even back then as well, and I'll be the first to admit that, like Bobba said, is an easy target.
Yeah.
And I was dealing with things myself, and even as a group of mates, you there's an easy target at times. You know what I mean? And Bobba was the one that copped it the most, probably. And I love joking around constantly. And so when I know I've got someone too, and I've got them on the edge, when it's a close mate, I want to push them over that edge, right? And I've pushed him over the edge many times as a mate, and but I think the difference is you do know your true mates who are there for you and everything like that. But we're talking about before that, when we don't understand ourselves, and like I know that there's times that I'd personally done things to Bobba that I didn't understand what you're going through, and that I've said or done the wrong thing on different occasions, and now I understand a little bit more because I've suffered anxiety myself. But those triggering things, and for me, I've got a different form of like medical. So all someone has to look at me and say is, "You look a little bit red in the face." Boom. I'm gone. So when you're at that age, when you're 14, 15, 16, and you have these triggering moments, and another person might just take it as banter with mates.
Yeah.
It doesn't always end that way with someone who's in that anxious fight or flight mode.
Yes.
Exactly right.
I was going to say, I've lost my train of thought. I was going to say something to your point. We'll come back to it. You continue on, and we'll come back to it.
It's as you say, it was a time where you give each other hell, and it was banter. At the end of the day, if I turned around and said I need you, you'd be there in a heart. But being that easy target and not knowing how to, I think it took me until I was like 17. To turn around and go, for lack of better words, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to deal with this anymore, and then start giving the hell back.
Yeah.
And then when I did that, the look on people's faces was...
Yeah.
Well, we don't need to give him shit anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have that target, you know what I mean?
Shit yourselves. Yeah? Yeah.
I'm still sitting there. I feel like I've matured late because of it.
Yeah.
So I hit 17 and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to start attacking these people who were attacking me
Yep.
for so long and turn into a prick
Yeah.
and give it some back.
Mm.
Not thinking about my future, not thinking about what I'm going to do after high school. Like
Yeah.
17 was year 12, I
Yeah.
think, and we were going to head off into the world and see where we went. But I'm still stuck sitting there thinking about 5 years ago and the people who gave me grief and how am I going to get back?
Yeah.
Revenge and
it's a hard place to be in when you've got that. It's you want to be vindictive in a sense of like people have put you down when you've been at a low point, and you want to try and what can you do to them?
Yeah,
and it's not that's a normal response. We're hard on ourselves, and you go, I shouldn't be like that, but also we're always developing and maturing.
Yeah.
And so, like, I know you now, and you're not at a point where you like that at all.
No, I'm
the complete opposite. But at that point when you are young, and like you're saying, people are, then going into the workforce, finding out what they want to. I had no idea what I wanted to do then.
Yeah.
As well. So, but when you're focusing on other things, it's very hard to, focus on the future.
Yeah.
Because you're not in the future yet.
Yeah. Especially if you're unsure.
Yeah.
If you're unsure, you don't know what What I was going to say before, it's come back to me, is my journey with anxiety and depression started when I was 32. So I had a leg up. Say 20 years or so, or not that many, 15 years on being a younger 15-year-old or 17-year-old or whatever it was. Yep. So I'd matured a fair bit to sort of have an understanding around. I could understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling. I could understand talking to doctors and psychologists. I could get it. I could understand to a certain degree. Trust me, I've had it now for nearly 13 years, and I'm no closer to find the answer. But there is that level of maturity that I think, for me, I'm very lucky that I got it a little bit later in life rather than my early years.
Rationalist brain.
In those earlier years.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say there is that it would have been a very scary and dark place for you. Even though you started to fight back, it still would have been a very scary and dark place for you.
Yeah, and it's. I think my wife said it best to me once: is that anxiety is a fear of the future. It's what's going to happen, right? And then your depression is you reliving the past.
Yep.
And kind of in those teenage years and going through, as you do as a man, puberty and everything else, it was very hard for me to sit there and go, okay, I'm freaking out about going to school and seeing people, but at the same time, I'm miserable from what they did to me the other day.
Yeah.
Or, and then, you go through the narcissistic side of things where you're like, oh, how can I find them? How can I really get back at them? Sorry, I don't know if I'm meant to be swearing.
No, you can say whatever you like.
So the wave of emotions at a young age was hectic.
Yeah.
And it was hard to deal with, and it was trying to work out where you fit in, and it just never clicked. Not until mid-20s, I'd say, probably, when we all kind of put our shit aside and went, okay, this is...
Choking's over.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a look at that age group now, it's one of the highest statistics for men in that age group, that high school years. And I'm so glad now that the stuff that I'm seeing out there with mental health, it is really focusing on that age gap to say, hey, it's okay that you feel this way, whether it's anxiety, depression, sexuality is a big thing, kids working out what they're doing. It could be the way they're brought up. But the thing is that there's a lot more going into that now to protect a future Bobba going through what you went through. And I know it's easy said than done, but, you should look at that and go, well, thank God that 17-year-old version now has a little bit of support there to try and help.
It's still here.
Yeah.
Had the fight to actually hang around.
Yeah. And this is what this is all about.
Yeah.
But like playing, so Bobba and I have played in a couple of bands together.
Oh, yeah?
I was the lead singer. Bobba is the most musically talented person I've ever met.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't matter what instrument he picks up, he can play it.
Yeah, right.
Right. I've never met anyone that can do what he does. And so it started off just me and Bobba. I'd sing and he played guitar. And then he was like, nah, I want to play drums. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, play the guitar, man.
Yeah.
So I could, whatever. But matter whether it was a clarinet, whether it was a trumpet,
Yeah.
whatever he picks up, he can play.
Yeah.
And so I guess through that stage, because we were still in high school and then a little bit out of high school, as a boy coming into a man, you're getting a lot of emotions, all these things we don't know how to deal with. I guess in a way we were fortunate enough that through music we were able to release a little bit of this stuff.
Yeah.
Especially through song lyrics and stuff like that. All day at school, all I did was write lyrics. I didn't listen to the teacher. I was writing lyrics. So I guess like to go through that journey with you and experience some of these really low moments, like you just said, you know, that age of people unaliving themselves and everything like that. I guess like you and I have been close or almost at those points.
Yeah.
And through music, that became a big part of our life.
And it became a way to express ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you can put your feelings and your heart and soul into a song and get out all the angst and all the fear and everything out, and you just the end of the day you record it and you can release it, or you can just sit at home and listen to it yourself. And
I might get you guys to do a new intro for Beyond the Banter. Can you? Well, yeah, I've got full confidence in you, mate. How's your vocals? Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, we actually sang Justin Bieber the other night.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. No, but an intro into the future, guys. If you're keen to do it, more than happy to entertain it. So, yeah, and whatever.
And that era in time with music, it was that emo or new metal era.
Yeah, from grunge into new metal.
Yeah. And everyone.
Who's a couple of bands?
Corn.
Yeah.
Corn is the number one. That we were Slipknot.
Yeah.
Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Pantera.
So these people started expressing themselves.
Yeah.
And you could sit back and listen to their music and go, "Oh shit, I'm not alone."
Yeah.
That was the big thing.
It was. You took great solace in it.
Yeah.
And that was like, well, that's what I want to do. Or that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to express ourselves and let people hear what we're thinking.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And it gave you great confidence. You know, we as we've established, you know, we had our ups in the bands and we started writing, and then we had our downs where we had disagreements, and
every band does that. You know,
it's
you have different directions and different things that you, ways you want the band to go, or what your idea of what you want the music to be, and because it is a personal thing.
You wanted to go solo, didn't you?
100%. You actually hit the nail on the head. Yeah. That's not what we're here for today. But that is exactly the point. I didn't like someone taking my place.
Yeah.
But more to that about being because you then went on to go further with the band and everything like that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of after you've gotten through that phase of high school and, you know, getting into work life and not knowing where you want to be. And then you're starting to get a little bit of success with a band.
Yep.
And tell me a little bit about what it was like dealing with anxiety, because it's something close to my heart, and then going on stage and performing, you know.
It was an absolute nightmare, if I'm completely honest. It's, you kind of got to, they call it the load-in time, where you've got to get your gear in there and make sure it's all, your set time is this, so you need to have your gear in this position at this time. And
we've got a different thing at comedians. We're dropping loads.
Dropping loads.
You're loading, we're dropping loads.
It can be interpreted in so many different ways. Yeah.
PG.
Yeah.
Sometimes you find yourself getting to venues and you weren't playing until 11 o'clock at night, but your load-in time was 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So you've got hours.
Yeah.
Hours
to think
about how this could all go horribly.
Yeah.
And I guess if we rewind the clock a little bit, I knew anxiety. I started to understand anxiety, but I didn't know panic attacks. You know, so panic attacks were still a thing that I just couldn't get my head around. And it was back at work. You know, I was working in a nursery at the time, and I was just walking through the yard, and my head started spinning. You know, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm sweating. Why am I sweating? And then I thought I was going to pass out and die and all the rest of it. So then all of a sudden I'm in this state that I can't control. Now, fast forward back to when you're loading in for music or playing a gig, you find yourself in a similar situation where you're stacking your gear up and ready to go, and you get excited about the show, but then your head starts.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, your breathing gets rapid, and you feel like your pulse is jumping out of your neck. And as I said, you check it, and it's nothing. Nothing wrong. You're not dying, but you feel like you are on the end, like, of your rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Worst case scenario, yeah.
Yeah, so you've got that 4 or 5 hours where you just got to kind of deal with it. And for me, unfortunately, and I've done it today, liquid courage. Yeah, you go and have your couple of beers or your couple of bourbons before you get up just to settle your nerves.
Yep.
And a lot of the time that worked against you because it'd heighten your anxiety. And, by the time you're actually out there setting up your equipment and you're feeling the heat of the lights, because back then it wasn't LED, it was all these big halogen lights beaming on you, so it was 50 degrees on stage. And you're like, I'm going to drop now. That's it. Yeah, I'm not going to play this set.
Yeah.
And then you count in and you get through your first song, and you feel amazing, all fear disappears. Because the anxiety side, the fear of it is gone.
Yeah.
So you play. And when I was on stage, I was probably the freest being I think I've ever been in my life. I let everything consume me. I watched people jumping around and being nitwits in a metal concert. And, and you just had the time of your life for half an hour, 45 minutes, and then you got to pack up, and then you sit there and go, well, did I give it my all?
You start doubting.
You start doubting yourself, and then you freak out that the band wants to talk. Oh shit! Okay, here we go. What have I done wrong? And you start freaking about the next big thing that's coming your way, and your victories are short lived.
Yeah.
Because then your brain goes, all right, next thing to worry about's coming, and once again you just got to take the wave and ride it and do what you can. Really, it's a hard thing, and I mean the band got semi-successful.
We did very well.
We were playing some really decent shows with some really big names, and as I said, it was awesome when we were doing it, but beforehand and after, no good.
Are you still in bands? Are you still playing? No, it's all finished up.
No, I still play. I play my drums and all the rest of it. Just the idea of going through all that again, I can't.
Yeah.
I guess the anxiety's there for that. It's the idea of traveling around and load-ins, load-outs, the stress of entertaining. I'm not.
Yeah, fair enough.
About that anymore. I can't.
But what about writing music, or have you ever ventured down that path? Or
I still write. I guess everything comes to me when I'm in the car.
Yeah,
because there's no one around. I'm just doing my thing in the car, and then all of a sudden I've got a guitar tune in my head, and then I'm thinking about drums and I'm thinking about everything else. But by the time I get home and I sit down behind the kit and I'm like, all right, let's do this, and I just think to myself, no, I just don't have it anymore. I don't have the energy to
self-doubt.
Which kills me, and it kills my wife. My wife's still trying to get me to get back on it and start playing again. And,
one thing, as I said, like even when I say that Bobba's one of the most musically talented people I've ever met, I know the way that he reacts to that. And what he doesn't realise is that there's not a person that I know that wouldn't say that as well. Also, he's very artistic. He's good at drawing. Anything wood lathing, making things with his hands, anything that's artistic or anything like that. And you'd be probably the first to say that this has really, the self-doubt and the anxiety has held you back for your true potential, because you doubting yourself and those, the anxiety saying, what are people going to say about this, or whatever, is so hard to overcome and to accept when someone says to you that you're the most musically talented person in the room, or whatever it may be. You can't accept that. Yeah. Well, in this room, 100% you are.
So what goes through your head then? What goes through your head then when someone says that?
I feel awkward.
Yep.
To be honest, I appreciate it and I love it. Ego-wise, I love it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic to hear. But I also sit there and go, because last time I, played guitar with Nick, I was just sitting, strumming away, and
and I was killing on the vocals.
You were killing it.
Uh,
But I think over time and playing with so many talented musicians and seeing what people can do, you kind of go, shit, I'm nowhere near that level.
yeah.
And I just, I mean, I'm humbled by it, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm so far from it. I think it's the self-doubt again. It's, I don't think I've ever been good at anything. And when I do, like, as you're saying, with my wood turning and, doing woodwork and things like that, 9 times out of 10, I finish something. I look at it and I go, nah, and I put it in the fire. I burn it.
Too hard. It sounds like you're too hard on yourself.
I am. 100%. I'm my own worst critic.
Yeah.
And through the years, I've had more and more support, like Nick, like the boys, my wife, my family. They've all been behind me, but I still just sit there and go, no, I'm just not good enough.
Yeah,
I'm nowhere near good enough.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that because it's interesting. That part itself is interesting. I mean, you hear talking about mental health. That's a big achievement, mate. And to say that you're not good enough. I mean, have a look at what you're doing. That to me says it all. You finish high school, right? You get through that period. What happens to Bobba after high school?
I kind of fell into the role of horticulture.
Yep.
Once again, full of indecision and not sure what I wanted to do with life.
Yep.
And, my sister, she was a third-year apprentice in horticulture.
Yep.
And I thought, well, let's give this a go. And thank God I did, because it was probably the best thing I ever did.
Mm-hmm.
But in saying that, my triggers, which is ironic on a day like today, is heat.
Yep.
I've got a real big trigger when it comes to heat.
Yep.
Because I've got a big fear of passing out.
Yep, same.
Or vomiting. So being out in the nursery all day, and then you get summer and there's no 35-degree drop tools in the nursery. Let's get out there and water all the plants or else we're going to lose it. And I think, that's where the panic attacks really started for me. But the career-wise, I was like, I can't imagine doing anything else. Like, I love the horticulture. I love the biology, and I love the, now I'm a landscaper. I've moved on to landscaping and the creation of people's gardens.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah.
But, I know tomorrow's going to be 41, I think it is.
Yeah.
And me mentally preparing for the fact that it's going to be so hot and get on site and have to get on the tools, and I'm struggling with the idea of
just take it off.
Just take it off.
Take it off. So the landscaping thing, is that your artistic side coming out? Do you think that's what that's all about?
So the path and everything with the lights at the front there. Bobba did that just a few months ago. So he, once again, anything that he does and designs and everything like that. Yeah. He is really good at it. So, but with the the anxiety, once again, even with work and you should be like focusing on, all right, well, this is the job that I've got tomorrow. This is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be laying pavers or whatever it may be that you're doing. We're moving that crushed rock and we're getting these plants in. And I've got to go to that supplier. You're not thinking about that.
No.
You're focused in on purely the triggers of the anxiety, the heat, whether you're going to pass out, whether you're going to make it, that self-doubt kicking back in.
And it's worked against me in so many ways because I shut down. I don't talk. So I've got the guys around me at work like, what are we doing? And I'm just sitting there going, well, I've got a rock.
Yeah.
And that's all I can focus on. And I can't deal with it. So it hurts me work-wise.
Yeah.
But it's just the triggers. And there's so many rational things that go through your head going, well, it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
Drink some water and you'll
get through
it. The other side of your head's going, shut
yeah.
up, you're going to die.
There's no rational, some things is like, there's no rationality to it.
No.
And you can't, logically that you've probably never passed out.
Yeah.
From heat.
I was just going to say, the rational part of it is getting home at the end of the day after doing the day's work and reflecting back and going, hey, well, I just did it. I got through it. But if tomorrow or to say next week is another 41-degree heat, you're going to think about it.
Do you ever sit back at the end of the day and reflect on that moment and say, well, it didn't happen?
Yeah, every time.
So you do get home and go, I didn't pass out
Yeah.
I was okay. I did well.
Yeah, that's my achievement.
You
That's
do
my
that?
thing. Yeah. When I get to go home and see my daughter and give her a hug, I sit there and go, well, I got through it.
Yeah.
I've done well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I feel good about it. But then me being me is I'm straight on Bureau of Meteorology going.
I'm going to delete that app from your phone, by the way, before we leave today. He's not going to know the weather at all.
Yeah, I've looked at it 4 times since I've been here.
Have you thought about moving to Tassie or something like that?
Yeah. Or maybe changing jobs and working in a freezer somewhere.
The idea of sitting behind a desk or...
Yeah.
You love what you're doing at the same time.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Indoor garden centre or...
Yeah. I actually worked at the nursery for a while, watering the garden as well, and it is quite therapeutic.
Yeah.
Watering plants, and you got the bees and everything like that. And it was a beautiful nursery that you worked at. It was a massive nursery. It was really nice.
And it smells, right? The whole smell.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
I'm a big smell person, you know?
You are a big smell person.
Big smell person.
In summer, you've got all the fruit trees, and they're actually bearing fruit, so you just walk along while you're watering, and there's a peach.
Yeah.
As I said, I always wanted to be a landscaper, but the whole snakes and spiders things for me, it was... I remember Dad saying, hey, come and help us, we're ripping all this stuff out. I'll mow the lawns, I'll do anything, but I won't. I'm not going to touch it.
You're not going to touch anything?
Snakes and spiders.
Well, it's funny, actually, at the nursery...
I was going to say,
we installed aquariums and reptiles, so
I
ended up managing that area.
Yeah, right.
And I had snakes before that, so you actually came to me a couple of times.
Yeah,
I had pet snakes. And,
Nick helped me deal with my anxiety of snakes.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, well, I'm going to have about, I think it was 10 snakes.
Yeah.
I've got to learn how to handle these things.
Right.
And I remember you
pulled my pants down and... No, but I've had a couple of... couple of pythons, and I had other mates that had snakes as well. So, I'd had a little minimal experience, but I had enough, I'd done enough research to know how to look after the snakes and everything. And so I'd actually love coming in at that point because you had some really good snakes. And
it was always good on a Sunday. The old biddies would come in, and if you were a little bit seedy and hungover, you'd put a big 8-foot python around your neck and walk outside.
How do I get out of here? And you mentioned you quickly mentioned there on your daughter. You have one child, and do you think your daughter's changed your outlook on anxiety, depression? Is it a comfort?
Yes and no. Once again, it works on both sides of the scale because I try not to project my anxieties onto her. Because the last thing I want is for her
of course.
feel these things. And sometimes, your upbringing reflects your attitude.
Yeah.
So I do find myself sheltering when I'm going through the emotions, or I'll go and lock myself in my bedroom for half an hour until I'm ready to come out with confidence and say a proper hello and hang out with her. But I think the achievement of having such a wonderful child is something I take great pride in, and I feel really good about.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She runs a market.
Yeah.
She gets away with it. Yeah. So I mean, it has helped me channel myself and focus on just being a good dad and stop worrying about things. But, the thoughts still.
The way I look at it with kids and for us going through mental health is that, when we get older and they get older, we will have a better understanding of what they're going through. And you might not have got that when you were growing up, but I can bet your bottom dollar you'll be there for your girl if she goes through anything, and you'll be there going, hey, it's okay, look. So that's one of the... And I talk about it's about changing the cycle, the way you're brought up and all that sort of stuff. So as you get older and they get older, at least you'll have an open mind to actually what's going on with your daughter in that sort of space. Exactly. If it does happen,
Now we're trying to break down the stigma.
Yes.
We can speak freely.
Yep.
Just grow up.
Yeah.
Do you know what one big thing that I picked up from school and all that? No one told me when I was a kid. My parents didn't guide me through it. But it's something that, I definitely, with my kids and stuff would be like that.
Yeah.
Because, that hierarchy that you think at school that kids are cool.
Yeah.
Right? And then even you leave school and you still got in your mind, you're like, that person was cool and this and that. You get to a point where you're like, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There's no such thing, or even if you are cool, that doesn't bring you anything in life. It doesn't push you any further in being better. It doesn't get you the better job. It doesn't do anything. And so I think that the whole stigma about, I think it is changing a lot with kids and what they actually look at being, for example, a lot of kids play games now, video games and everything like that. If you played video games when you were my age, you were a nerd.
Yeah.
Right? You were the outcast.
Yeah.
Where now that's all gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
If you like
comic books, all that stuff. So a lot of that stuff, but now you realise that none of that stuff actually matters, and that bullying is probably the most disgusting thing. So, number one to my kids is you don't bully anyone.
Yeah.
If I find out that you're bullying someone, my God, you got hell to pay.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. Treating people the way that you would want to be treated.
100%.
It's a simple thing.
Yeah.
But for example, our 20, just on what you were saying with the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Our 20-year anniversary from high school was last year, was it? No, a couple of years ago now, I think. But I didn't go to it because in my head I'm like, I'm still going to see this person and this person and this person. So I completely just went, no, I'm not going to it. I can't do it. I can't confront these people. I can't see these people. I can't put a smiley face on and go, I'm okay. Catching up and all the rest of it, which is weird because none of them were really bad people. They were really awesome, but I just had it in my head. I'm like, no, I felt like I had to go and perform.
Just on that, and this is a challenge, and I do the same thing with me, and maybe this is something you can do. When your little girl grows up and she's got these things in her life that she wants to go to, what would you like her to do? Would you like to say, hey, it's okay, just don't go if you don't want to go, or hey, go and fight your thing head on and get it, go and achieve it? I'm not saying you have to answer this, but for me, that's what I try and do with my kids, and just go, you know what? When you get old enough and these situations arise, I'm going to try and say, hey, go and tackle it head on, otherwise it may never go away, or you may never find a way to deal with it, So always think about that.
25 years, we'll roll up together in the Rolls Royce.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then flipping the bird to everyone.
Wear this shirt.
Mate,
exactly.
Mate, rock up, fingers up to everyone.
Sometimes not about, I know that that's a fun thing to think of.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just been about, and sometimes you don't realise what that person was going through at that time as well. And you might have that conversation where you go, oh, fuck, I've held this thing for years on you, but I didn't realise you were going through this.
Relating with
you can relate with them because you're probably right that person was going through similar, if not other stuff that's on a similar level.
Yeah.
So it might actually be therapeutic for you to go.
And our parents, right? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
our parents, right? The way that they were brought up, it was a very different generation. Terry tough guy all the way.
Yeah.
So you had no one at home to go home to because you just told to suck it up, or
And that's something my mother keeps saying to me, quite a bit, because my daughter starts primary school.
Yeah.
In a couple of days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't want her to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
So it's playing in my head. And I spoke to my mum about it, and she goes, well, why didn't you tell me about
things
that was happening 20 years ago? And it's like, well,
no.
There wasn't the conversation.
You didn't have it.
You couldn't. I didn't because I couldn't. It's that simple. And that's sort of your mum or anyone's parents or anything like that. It's because you couldn't. You couldn't approach them. You couldn't talk to them about it.
Do you know what I do? Chris saw it the other day. I buy my son.
I've seen a lot this weekend, so be careful what you say.
I buy my son an ice cream every single night after school.
Yeah.
Because I hated school.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for sending him there. He's like, he loves school.
Yeah. Absolutely loves it. Wants to go twice a day. He wants to come home and then go again. Yeah.
If he's got any appointments or something he has to go to, do not make him during school, let me tell you.
Yeah, right.
But I still feel so bad that I buy him an ice cream every day.
Yeah. But look, what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that things have changed. We've become more open-minded. There's things like this out there. There's a whole lot more that is in the education system now. Not enough, but there is a lot more now that there's hope that this will change as things go on. You're talking about video games as a kid. You're an outcast. I know I've got a niece and she left school probably a year or so ago, and I've seen this myself, but the drinking culture It's the drinking culture we went through going through school is very different to the drinking culture there is now. So it changes over time.
Yeah.
But I guess, and I'll just finish up by saying this is that the way I look at things, whenever I'm uncomfortable, there's a challenge there. I think, and this is, believe it or not, this is a part of it that I want my kids to look at this and go, shit. When he was 32, his world crumbled down, and look what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do to change that cycle. So there's something in that, I think, for yourself. And me just listening, mate, I'm just telling you, you're too hard on yourself, and I'm sure you know that. And everything that I'm hearing is just that you're belting yourself up.
No, I agree completely.
Yeah.
But I think what you guys are doing in this platform is, I felt like I wanted to talk about this, and I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yeah,
I always have.
Yeah.
I'm an emotional guy.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I said to Nick when we spoke about it, I'm like, well, I'm going to go no holds barred.
Yeah.
You tell me what you want to talk about,
Yeah.
or whatever we discuss, and let's just go for it.
Yeah.
And the idea of it on the way here was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. And we tried to make it as comfortable for you, and we spoke about it. Just whatever you need to do, and this is for everyone, to make it more comfortable, because at the end of the day, you will walk away from this, and don't get me wrong, it does stir things up and it does trigger a few things, but mate, you'll walk away from this, you'll see the finished product and you go, holy shit.
Yeah.
And when your daughter's old enough to understand what's going on, you can say, hey, this is what I did to try and challenge myself, to try and change the way I'm thinking.
Your story and what you go through, there's someone watching this now.
Yeah.
And they go, that was me at high school.
Yep, 100%.
That's what I went through. I suffer with the self-doubt. I suffer with the anxiety. I've had the panic attacks. For me even, it affects my day. It affects the people around me. People can relate to your story, and sometimes that's just enough for someone to hear that you're going through it. Because I know when I've called you at times and I'm like, I've got this symptom, I've got that, I'm fucking dying. Yeah. And you're like, no, it's this, it's that. And you've coached me through it, right? And so that means a lot to me. And that's why I wanted to get you on here, because you do have a story. And your story started from a very long time ago. You've been dealing with the anxiety for as long as I can remember. Yep. And so you're someone that's got a big message and a lot of education on it. Yeah. Because you've self-taught and self-dealt with it.
Yep.
And
you're still dealing with it.
And you're still dealing with it.
I think the first time I realised I needed to kind of nib it in the bud was when my nan passed.
Yeah, yeah.
She was literally gone about 2 hours after this situation. We'd sat in the hospital room with her for 2 or 3 days, just waiting for her to pass.
Yeah. Yep. And so can I just add that she lived with you?
Yes.
As well. So lived in the house, very close.
Yeah, she was with us. She was always there.
Yeah.
And then just that impression of we're just sitting here waiting for this to happen. And then when it came close, the dizzy spell kicked in. And then it became about me, unfortunately, for my parents. I started having a panic attack, and then I had to leave and I had to go, and then she passed. And then I held on to that for so long as something that was, I just ruined the moment for my family, and especially for my dad, whose mother just passed away. And it took me a long time to go, I couldn't control it.
I was just going to say to you, mate, you didn't ruin anything. Like,
but that's what the brain's
of course. Yeah.
The internal argument that
you're constantly. Yeah, but you're putting that energy out there, right? You're in your head thinking that's what your parents think, that you've ruined it. It's you coming up with this, but you haven't, because you can't control it. Now, I can't. I'm very, again, touch wood. I don't get panic attacks. I don't get them the way that you guys get them. I'm fair to say I don't get panic attacks, which I'm very grateful for. The anxiety kicks in, and it's more of a prolonged 6 week sort of recovery process I need to go through. So I go bang, rock bottom, slowly build myself. So I don't get these panic attacks that you guys get. But doing this and seeing psychologists and stuff, I understand what they are. There's a lot of people still out there that don't understand what panic attacks are. And just by what you said, I think it's really important. And we can talk on this about panic attacks specifically, because what you just said then, I think, is a big part of it, that you think you're ruining someone's life, or you're ruining this.
I'll tell you why it is that. I'll tell you why I think it's that is because when they say it to you, it's you're not dying. It's just a panic attack.
Yeah.
That word, it's just
a panic attack.
And so when they're saying you're going through that when your nan's just passed away, and you're feeling like you've taken your dad and everyone away, because when you're having an anxiety attack, you can't be in certain situations. You might need to be removed from the area and everything. But really, you're dealing with a situation that's stressful. You're mourning. You're in a high intense environment, and your body has had a specific reaction to that. Right. And then when they say it was just an anxiety attack, and you go, well, I've then let down everyone.
Yeah.
But you haven't, because it's not just an anxiety attack, because you're dying.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Don't worry about saying you're not, because you are.
Yeah.
In your mind, you're dying.
Yep.
There is zero logic.
Yep. Your heart,
There is
your senses.
scenario.
Yeah.
There is, stroke, heart attack. I'm dizzy. I'm going to pass out. I'm not going to be able to breathe. I can't swallow. I've never had an issue with not swallowing.
Yeah.
Right? Never. But when I have anxiety, I love swallowing. I do it daily as swallow. I've had a lot of practice at it.
We're never going to bring humour to this thing.
Just swallowing. And there's still times when I'm in an anxious fight or flight state where I panic whether I'll be able to swallow properly. Just swallowing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've never, ever had an issue with it. So, saying it's just an anxiety attack. Can I swallow? That's not, I know. But so to say it's just an anxiety attack, and then you ruined it and you took it away and you took other people away to look and care for you. But you know what? If that didn't happen to you then and there, maybe who's to say your dad didn't have an anxiety attack because he's watching his mother pass away?
Exactly.
Or maybe he was to pass out. Maybe the fact that then their focus went in on you is that helped them deal with a little bit of the grief of what was going on as well.
Yep.
Because when you're focused in on helping someone, I know with me, if I've got an anxiety attack and then you break out, I forget about myself. And now I'm focusing on you. I'm going to hang on and help you. Yeah.
The other way to look at it as well, just say, and I don't know your parents at all, but just say your mum had a panic attack, right? Would you sit there and go, Mum, you ruined?
Not a chance.
No, 100%. So I think the misconception here is that when you've got these panic attacks, you think that you're ruining other people just because it's like what you said. It's just a panic attack. It's like saying, just relax, mate.
Just relax.
Hey, go and take Panadol, or just relax. It's a panic attack. It's like
I've had GPs say it to me,
and it's like, hang on. Okay, so why is my heart pounding out of my chest? Why is this? What? It doesn't change anything psychologically to go, okay, well, it's okay. Breathe. Come on, piss off. I'm already in this heightened state, right?
I've always said that if someone's having a panic attack, the last thing you do is walk up to them and go, you'll be okay.
100%. Relax.
You do the opposite.
Yeah.
Do you know, I was reading this article on someone that was dealing with anxiety and stuff like that, and a method that they said, and I found it quite interesting. I've tried it at times. So when you feel your heart rate start going up, the fear is that it's going to go up. So you tell your body, go on, show me what you got.
Yeah, right.
Pump it as hard as you can and show me how hard you can pump my heart.
Yeah.
Right? And it's amazing that you're taking that focus on, or when you're getting dizzy, you go, show me how dizzy you can make me.
Yeah.
Push it. Show me. Go on, body. Show me.
Yeah.
And you're actually reverse. I've done it a couple of times. It's not something I've done religiously or whatever, but it's weird how that you're putting confidence in yourself.
You're using reverse psychology.
I've got a mate. I've got and I won't name him, but I know he listens to this, so I won't name him. But he says, I don't suffer from mental health. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, you can't say that you don't. He goes, I don't, because I welcome the demons.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I welcome them. So bring it on. He actually says, I invite him to dinner. You know? Yeah.
I want to have dinner with this guy.
Yeah. This is what he says, right? This is what he says. I invite him to dinner. And I just sit there and go, holy shit, that is a different way of
his family are demons.
Whether he's dealing with stuff, that he just doesn't, or he's got a very good way of hiding it.
Yeah.
But I've never seen him really struggle with anything related to mental health. So I think you're right in some of the stuff you're saying there, and I'm not saying he's right because he's a bit of a goose, but yeah. He hasn't invited me to dinner. Yeah. He never invited me over.
You're
but look,
obviously not a demon.
well,
You're a good guy.
Yeah, well,
Take that as a
I
compliment.
try and tell people that. But look, I know we've sort of taken the focus away a little bit, so I want to bring it back to you. We're going on 54 minutes, so we've probably got another 5-10 minutes, right?
Getting off.
It's you. No, it's you. Tell us. You've got an open mic, let's say, in these guys' world. You've got an open mic, mate.
I guess we use the term fight or flight a lot, but what some people don't understand is that the fight or flight is actually going on up here, the two sides of your brain, before you even realise that you're going to run or you're going to stay and fight. You've got one side of the brain going, I am done. I'm done. I'm finished. And the other side of the brain's going, you're being an irrational prick. Get over it.
Yeah.
And this is where, I am hard on myself because that's what up here is telling me. It's one side saying you are a sook, get over it.
Yeah.
And the other side saying, I'm dying, you get stuffed. And by the time you figure out what you're going to do next, you're crippled.
Yep.
You are mentally crippled.
So just on that, there is this part that I've heard, and I'm trying to remember where I heard it. I think it was through the psychologist that's with the show, Noni. Shout out to Noni. There's a part, flight, fight, and freeze, where it is that part where you freeze and you can't do anything.
I think freeze comes no matter what.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like before any action is taken, you will freeze.
Yeah.
And you will sit there and you will overanalyze every single possible aspect, good or bad, before you can make a decision on what you're going through.
Yeah.
That's when you start body scanning,
Exactly.
You're body scanning and finding out.
Yeah. But that's where your network of friends is so important. That's where you've got to turn around and go, well, shit, I'm going through this right now. I'm going to give Nick a call.
Yeah.
And I'm going to.
And you guys do that?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
that is amazing. Well done, both of you.
There's times. I mean, sometimes not specifically for that, but we'll just call each other and
that's great.
And shit.
Well, there might be a time where maybe post anxiety attack, or something like that, maybe a day or so later, and I'm still questioning, because that's another thing as well, is that someone might say, oh, your heart was racing because of an anxiety attack, but you go, but hang on a second, I took a medication yesterday that I haven't taken before, or whatever. Was it that triggered it?
Yeah.
Was it this food? Was it that? So you're still trying to break down why it happened. Why did you have that physiological sensation?
Yeah.
Right. So then I'll call, if I'm talking to Bobba, and we might be just talking about something might come and fix the path that you did that didn't really work properly.
Yeah.
And then you go on
for the seventh time.
So maybe down. Yeah. But you say, like while we're just during conversation, I was like, hey, yesterday this happened to me, blah, blah, blah. And as I said, because, I believe you've got a lot of knowledge in this field, he'll come back to me with, I've had this before. I've felt that. When and this is the reason for the podcast, when you know someone that's felt the exact same thing as what you're feeling, and the body scanning, like what we're saying, and going through and trying to work out what's wrong, the symptoms of a panic attack, although they vary in different ways, a lot of the symptoms are quite similar.
Yes.
And so when you hear those things, and I might just be describing it a different way because we don't know correct terminology of what's happening or why we're feeling that way, but I'm saying I'm getting this rush up the back of my head. Now, that might be the blood all leaving your head, going to your vital organs. I don't know. I'm not an expert. But I call you and I go, dude, I had this rush at the back of my head. And you're like, yeah, I've had that before. Yeah. And this and that and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And maybe try this technique, try do this. Because there are little techniques that you hear, like telling your body to go more. I've been told to put your feet in the carpet.
Make fists
with your toes.
Whilst you're having an anxiety attack?
Yeah, at the start of an anxiety attack.
It's meant to calm you and you lose your focus on everything. So I think that's a big thing, and some of the techniques that I've gone through with you before, you got to distract your brain.
Yep.
So when I know, or when I'm speaking to somebody who's having an anxiety or a panic attack, I sit there and go, all right, well, you're in a room where there's red bricks everywhere. Find me 5 things that are pink. Tell me what they are now. And then they're looking around for pink things.
I start going, do I know what pink is?
but And I find 9 times out of 10, by the time they get to the 5th one, they've forgotten what they were
it's true.
freaking out about. And
Yeah.
you know, they're
I've been in the
distracted.
car with you. You're like, tell me 10 blue things that are around you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You distract yourself. And I think distraction helps to a degree, but talking is everything.
Yeah.
You need to talk. You need to open up, and you need to be honest with yourself and your friends so they can understand it and work on it.
Yeah.
You know? There's nothing to be ashamed of. Just get it done.
So, the last thing I'll finish up on my side, and then I'll throw over to you to close, because this friendship that you guys have to be able to do that, it's amazing, and it's exactly what this is all about. So I'll let you to finish up on it. Mate, if you look down the camera and tell your 17-year-old self, younger version, what would be the advice that you give to yourself, knowing what you know now?
Calm down, look forward, and don't be a prick to yourself. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
You can be your own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Be a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Be a friend to yourself, and you'll be okay.
Beautiful.
Not that you meant to say that.
But no, look, as Chris said, and we've mentioned in the podcast several times, we've known each other for a long time. I just want to thank you for coming on here and being part of this for us, explaining your story. Because as you said, you were driving here. You're probably thinking about it last night. You're probably thinking about it on the way here. I know you, right? So you've put yourself in a position to be vulnerable here for everyone. And as I said, I'm sure there's going to be people watching this that can relate to your story.
Yep.
That I guarantee you've helped someone by doing what you've done today.
Yep.
You've helped us for sure, and you've helped me many times. So you've already got one person who's sitting next to you who you've helped. And also, we had AJ in here talking about his story, and I explained to him that he's a reason why I'm doing this. You're also a reason why I'm doing this. That's why, especially in this first group of people that I've nominated to be in this podcast, you guys are it because you've helped me and to do this.
Yeah, look,
to be the reason why I'm doing this.
And I just want to say that I appreciate everything that you guys are doing and to create this awareness and help people like myself to express. Be comfortable with your brain and to be comfortable with your feelings, and everyone's there to deal with it. You've got help.
I
think that's the most important thing. So thank you for letting me.
No problem.
Our pleasure.
Now get out the front and fix that bloody garden. Now, honestly, thank you, mate. Yeah, really appreciate it, mate. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode. We'll be back soon with another episode. In the meantime, we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.